Live. Yo. So, welcome to another. So, I'm going to be trying something new. It's going to be called Metaverse Mondays. Metaverse Mondays. Mondays, 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 Mondays. So Metaverse Mondays. The purpose of this is to one streamline my creative processes into, bite-sized packs, so that it doesn't become overwhelming for me, and I also don't get distracted from wanting to go down these rabbit holes, because I am overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have to do for medical school. So, Metaverse Mondays. It is Monday, the first week of Metaverse Mondays. But so the purpose of this is to essentially create, use the tools that people are expected to use for the metaverse, and find ways to build worlds, the metaverse, as quickly as possible with just stuff that I have on my computer. And so that is a combination of different different 3D models I found off of a variety of different things, and it'll kind of be themed. But today we're just sort of just playing around with some pieces of software. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. So the first thing that I have, right, I have Unity open because we're obviously doing this in Unity. And what I'm doing is I have this thing called the HD render pipeline. And so what that is going to do, if you could see my graphics and all that stuff, the HD render pipeline is what allows me to create some awesome stuff in a very nice, way. So you see these HD render pipeline assets, uh, and if I play this, it should look really nice. As you can see, I'm sort of wandering around. You look around and it's pretty solid, right? Like the render is really nice. And this is just all running in Unity. So this is HD render pipeline. And so what I did is I went to the package manager and I was able to download Gaia and Gina. And these are what we're going to be building our worlds with. I also have this thing called City, and City is also pretty good. Um, it is a like city builder that works very well with Gaia and Gina. And with that, I'm gonna import some characters in that I have created, and we will go through and you know navigate the world once we build a pretty quick one. So, without further ado, the first thing that we want to do is go through and we want to just create a new scene. So, go to create scene, and we'll just call this Metaverse. Actually, design or Metaverse day 2. You know, so let's call it Metaverse Day 2. That's what we got. And so uh, it's, trying to find these naming conventions and all that stuff is kind of crazy. But, we got it. We got it. And so, again, the goal right now is just creating a 3D world you can navigate with just the stock assets as quickly as possible. So, I have the scene open, and so the first thing I want to do is just go through and just we're just gonna just build out something really quickly. And so this is really just to see what is the power of Gaia and stuff. And so if you don't know what Gaia is before you get started, I'll go to the package manager, and in that package manager we want to go to my assets. After that, I'll just put Gaia, and they have a whole bunch of different versions, right? You have Gaia Pro, Gaia 2, Gaia 2021. I use Gaia 2021. And if we look at it on the asset store, Gaia is on a sale right now. So you can find Gaia on a sale because they always have Unity sales, and this is always on sale. And it's It's really, really nice. And right now you can see has the HDRP and you can create beautiful scenes with it. And so the next one that we have is a Gina Pro. So if I go to the asset store, Gina is made by the same people, and it has you could use build terrains and villages and all that stuff with it, and it's a great combo with Gina or with Gaia. And if there's a HDRP, as you could see, you could get the whole world building bundle, which is crazy. Whole world building bundle, which you could use to build worlds and stuff. And so I don't have the other two, but I do have Gina and I have Gaia. And do I have ambient sounds? Not sure. Let me see if I have ambient sounds. No, I don't have it. I just have dynamic city ambiance. But I and so the last one that I have is City, and City is not by the same maker, but they have it works very very well with Gaia. And so let me see if I can find it. Yep, Gaia Pro fully integrated, as well as the you know mobile traffic system or the simple traffic system, and which I probably should get the I should probably explore the simple traffic system or the mobile traffic system because that might be useful. I think I might. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna look at those mobile traffic system, ugly, and then simple traffic system, which is yeah. I may need to procedural traffic and then mobile traffic system because there is some really good integrations with it. I may wanna I may wanna look into this. This one isn't on sale, but so if you need yeah, I may need to add that to the list and add that to this project. So this is going to be an open project, and so any of the stuff that you say, I'll probably just post it uh, for people to play around with. Uh, so yeah, so I'll just add those to the list. But I got these, City. I have Gaia Pro, Gina Pro on it, and then I'll start adding some other different things to it, like Kish Bash assets and nature pack stuff eventually. But yeah, this is what we got. So now that I have this Metaverse Day 2, uh, and then I'll just go to my Gaia and then go to Gaia Manager like that. Have it just open. It does all the stuff that you need, but I just want something very quick. So I already have everything set up. So everything is really nice. So now I'll just go through. I have a pretty decent desktop, but I'll just do a normal desktop and I'll just do a small world, just something very quick. And I'll go with a coniferous forest and I want to do a world designer. So I'll just do the world designer right here. It looks like you're starting with the new terrain. HDRP lighting is not set up. Would you like to set up default HDRP lighting suitable for editing your terrain? Yes, I will. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so as you can see, I have my thing set up. I'll just move this over here, give me a little bit more room to work with. And so this is the world designer. It pretty much procedurally just like does stuff for you. Uh, it's probably the easiest thing to do. You could have like your world shape, you could have your world details, and these details you can modify as much as you want. And so if you say like, okay, I want to uh, have more detail, a more dense stamp, and I want to have less rivers, and I want to have more mountains and more islands. I could do randomize the stamp, right? And so now, look at that, more islands and mountains, right? If I wanted to have more rivers, uh, less mountains, less hills, wanted to be flatter, like that. See? And so if I don't want to have any mountains, no islands, uh, no hills, and you just want plains and rivers. So both of those up high, randomized stamps. As you can see, there is none of that. That's crazy. Zero islands. So I will bump that up. We'll just say one big island, no mountains, a little bit of a hill, no rivers, randomized stamps. So we got two islands, so we got a lot of islands, right? So we don't want that. We'll just drop down the islands. See if that does anything. Okay, just got one pretty solid island. Oh, up the valleys, lakes. We'll say stamp with, bump that up, and then we'll randomize. We will drop that down a little lower and see what that does. Okay. And go through and I'll just bump up everything. Hills. So we'll add some rivers into it. Screw it. We'll go with this. This looks good. And so, but notice how, like, if I bump up the mountains and redo it, get a big mountain there. But if I drop the mountains, it removes it like that. And this looks pretty solid. I'll take that. And so you can see this right here. This is the scale of our stuff. So we got a house. We have a person right there. Then we have a tree. So that's the scale that we have. So what I could do is I could just generate the world. So just hit generate, boom, create all this stuff from scratch. You can see we got all our stuff right there. So right now we only have the terrain. So we don't have anything else but the terrain uh, in this thing. So as you can see, it's just a terrain. We don't have any runtime stuff. We don't really have anything but lighting. And so what we could do is we could add, so as you see here, we could add a player controller. We could add skies, and I'll just do a default, just like day sky. I'll do a quick bake. We got the post processing. We could add water. We could add a wind system. We could add all that stuff just by the click of a button. So, you know, with Gaia, you could do a lot of great stuff with this stuff, and you know, it's pretty affordable, pretty easy. So, so I'll go through, just hit create runtime, boom, lets me do that. As you can see, we got it's foggy, all that good stuff, right? You can zoom in, and we got a lot of stuff that we could that we're able to navigate with this. And so I'll just go ahead and save it, and then I'm going to go through and click play. I'll just have maximize on play. Just click play. Boom. So as you can see, I could walk around this place. It's super foggy, but I could walk around it. Jump, could do all that, right? Pretty easy. If I wanted to have a first-person controller, I could go to the Gaia runtime, then go to Gaia player, and I could change it from first person to car, you know, or to first person right there, right? So I could click first person, and I could walk around. Look at that. This is a pretty solid world right here. There's no trees or shrubbery or anything, so it's not too bad. Get rid of that stuff. We could do this. It has an underwater effect too. See? And this is all done because of like the HD render pipeline and stuff. And so, you can see this detail. This detail looks pretty solid. So, with that, boom. If I uh, wanted to have a car and stuff, I could do that as well. So let's see how the car does. HDRP doesn't have the shaders are kind of messed up with HDRP. That's what this pink stuff is for. This doesn't really work as well, but you know, because it's just the smoke, and so it's just because of the particle system. So, but you get a car, um, and if I wanted to get out of maximize and I wanted to go to not first person, but a flying camera, I could do that, right? So go back to maximize, boom, go faster. I could just go around this. I could see all this stuff that's happening, right? So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I have all of my stuff here, right? So what I want to do is I want to be able to add some trees and stuff. And so I do that by going to close this, and I could add the coniferous forest biome that I had before, that I added before. And so in order to do that, right, all I'll have to do is go in, and as you can see, there's all this stuff here that we could choose from. We have textures. We got this village spawner. I could just turn that off. You could turn all these things off, but like stones, tree pines, spruces. And when you look at these, if you open these up, um, open these up, and these things correspond. So yeah, the coniferous forest biome, and it references these game objects that have the textures, the village, all those things, right? If I select if I select the textures, you get sand, grass, forest path, leaves, all that. With the stones, you get all these different stones here, different stone models and stuff that I have. Um, and with this, see if I can find how they have it all set up. It's pretty much like 3D models essentially that you have that you're using. So you're using references to 3D models uh, that you get pulled from, and they automatically like generate these things. And so and you'll find those in like these sample assets for the scenes and stuff like that. So grass VFX, and these VFX is like birds and butterflies and stuff. So it's pretty solid, pretty solid, pretty solid program. And so what I'm going to do is I just took off the village because I don't really want the village, but everything else I do want. And so with that, I could go through, select the biome, and I can actually just like spawn this biome. So that's what I'm gonna do. And just literally just click spawn. And what you're gonna see is you're gonna see all of these. Um, you're just gonna see like everything populate. And one interesting thing before I hit it is you're actually able to see if I want to say like, oh yeah, where's all the stuff going to spawn? You could click these things right here, and it's going to tell you. And this is based off of different rules that you set. And so this is where all the grass is going to be spawned. Bushes. This is where the bushes are going to be spawned. Um, Flowers, same thing. This is where all the flowers. And notice how like these are based off of different criteria. And so, this different criteria is going to uh, show different things. So there's a lot of overlap, but there's also just specific areas, as you can see with the textures too. And so these textures are set up differently as well, where you got sand everywhere, right? You got sand everywhere. Then you got grass on top of that sand. Then you got the forest path. You got ground leaves, and they all overlap sometimes, but not all the time. And so we end up diving deeper into that because that's how you can customize things. But yeah, this is how it is. So now that I sort of just went over that quickly, I'm still learning it myself, but went over it quickly. It's time to spawn this biome. So just go ahead, click spawn biome, and we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff. So as you can see, we got grass, we got different trees, literally two different trees that just procedurally spawned here. We got a water. Um, you'll see that look at that. There's the car right there. It's funny. Um, and so what I'll do is I'll just take do a third person character. Um, but we have all this. So you see these like white things. This is actually grass, and I guess like HDRP. Oh, we got bushes too. But we got these white things here, and this is grass. So this is just in the editor. And so when we get to the actual um when we get to the actual whatchamacallit, see if I can the main character out of the way, or the main camera out of the way. Move it to a better place. Yeah, move it to like right there. So you'll see that there's these white things. That's just because in the editor the HDRP doesn't like render grass very well in the editor, but when you click play, it like completely does. And so this is the coniferous forest biome right here. And you can make your own biomes and everything. That's pretty cool. But you can see this detail. Like you can see the detail of these things. It's really nice. You just try to, yeah, look at that. That is some good detail right there. Looks really nice. And so this is what HDRP is all about. And so now that we have that, we have our forest, we have everything, right? Then I could go through and I'm just going to hit play. So now, boom, I can walk around. These details. And I'm just running around. I'm running around the world that I built in what, 20 minutes? It's pretty solid. I'm running around the world that I built in, what, 20 minutes? It's pretty solid. Pretty easy. Just need to jump, make them jump, all this stuff. So this comes stock with uh, Gaia. And so once you just add that runtime player into it, it allows for you to do a whole lot of different stuff. So as you can see, the textures change, all this stuff, just straight. So I could have this whole scene that allows me to look around and do all this stuff, look off into the sunset. And I'll be able to uh, set this up and stage a shot later. But uh, but there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a character that I created. So I have a whole bunch of characters that I created, but I'm just import some characters that I made and and you know try to use the HDRP for it. So I have it all in this folder right here. I'll just move them in HDRP. It does take a little while, but if you saw the day one, the first stream that I did, it took forever to import these freaking things in. It was freaking horrible. Now, just go ahead, import that mess in. Okay, so looks like I have my finally imported. It took a couple of minutes, but let's see. There we go. Got these characters. They're still rendering, but these are the characters that I have. So time to render things out, I suppose. Just has to load everything first. Once it does, boom. See the textures and everything. So this is a low poly in the back and then a high poly in the front. And so you could see the textures, the difference between the textures of the hair. Yeah. If you go close to it, you kind of see like skin textures and stuff. I even made myself. Right there. Oh. So these are all my characters that I have. And so I made a prefab out of them. But yeah. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my scene. And so it's day 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just actually go through and find the runtime. So find that player that I have right here. And I'm actually just going to just swap it out. And so I'll go in to my 3D models that I have. And I'm just going to get just going to go in 3D models, look at the prefabs, and then I have this high res Roscoe. It's right here. It's the high res, and this is just for the HDRP, so I want it to have as much as possible. And so in the Gaia player, I'm gonna go to third person controller right here. And you can see there's an Ethan body, Ethan glasses, Ethan skeleton, right? So I'm gonna go through and hit that, and I'm gonna take this high res Roscoe, and I'm just gonna place it right in there, just like that. And as you can see, he's there. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just actually just deactivate these. So deactivate those, boom. And then there's this capsule collider that you see. So if you click third person controller, there's a capsule collider and you could just lower this down to around Roscoe like that. Like so. And there we go. We have our character almost done. The only thing we need now is we need to swap out the uh, the avatar so that it works with the controller. So we'll open up Roscoe. We'll hit the Roscoe avatar right here. Then we'll go to third person controller and we'll just move that over there. Boom. I have multiple Roscoes, so I can never remember which one. Probably should have named them better, but oh well. So we have our character, our new character. So just save this and then I'll just click play. Boom. And so now I have my main character in here. And so what if I just want to make him go faster, right? So I could go into here and you'll see how there's like a jump power. So I could bump the jump power up. So if I bump the jump power to like 10, right? He jumps higher. If I bump it to 20, jumps even higher. So it's like a super Roscoe. So just drop it down to 15. Yeah, that works. We have our turns, so that works. And then we want our like movement speed. So I could bump it to 3 times, and then I could have this be 3 times as well. So I have that, and then like it. So he is moving fast. I could lower that to 1.75. All right, so if I do that, so now it doesn't look as like crazy. I mean, he's still running fast, but it's like more manageable and easier to navigate now. So I'm just running around. And now this world that I created for Roscoe, which is crazy, right? And so what I could do is, what if I said like, oh, want his friends to just be chilling up at the top of the mountain, right? So then I'll go through, I'll find where that top of the mountain is. A place like this, right? And so remember I had all these other characters, so I ended up just making a prefab with like all the different characters that I could hang around with. So as it's called characters timeline. And so if I open doing a lot of stuff, right? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go through, and the reason they're blue is because there's no light in here, and so you just won't be able to see them. Really. And so what I'm going to do is I actually need to make another one. So I'll just duplicate this one. So this is just duplicate this Roscoe. I'll name it Vanessa because I already have Roscoe my uh in my thing already. So what I'll do is I'll go to my 3D characters, my res models, add it to Vanessa right here, and then I'll also there should be like a timeline asset. So timeline asset, and I'll just replace it with Vanessa. So where's Roscoe? There we go. Boom. And so then I'll just turn off the Roscoe model. Okay. Delete this one because I already have two, and then I'll turn off this Roscoe model. Boom. And so as you can see, oh, what do you know? And so we have our other characters just sort of chilling, right? And they're connected to the timeline, and voila. So that's what we got. I'll go to 3D models. I'll add this to my timeline like this. I'll just say, we'll just put them right there. And we'll just make sure everything is good. So one of the things I need to do is take off these take off these. Oh, yeah. I'll just turn off the capsule colliders for all of these. I don't think I need them. They do have capsule colliders for these, and so I'll just turn them off. Hit save. And so now let's go ahead and check it out again. So now let's go find our friends. For that, go through and just make this defaulted. So again, I made these, I changed it, but it didn't keep it. So uh, whenever you have uh, changes you do in the editor while it's in play mode, it's not going to save them. And so I had to go through and update that stuff. So boom, save, boom. So I should be able to go up to my friends and tell what do you know. Oh snap. That's crazy. Whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. And so let me fix that because I know why it happened. Because they don't have any capsule colliders on. That's funny. They all just died. And so I actually want to have probably want to have a box collider on them. So I'll do a box collider. All this box collider is going to do is it's going to say, hey, when we feel something on the ground, we're going to treat it like it's a ground object. And it allows for you to, just navigate things a little better. So turning off these capsule colliders, then add the box colliders. These aren't going to be very good, but it works. And then with the character timeline, it has a none, so I'll just add that, have that be a loop. And I'll just say apply all to add these to the prefab. And so this should all be in the prefab now. And so then I'll just click save, boom. And so now I should have a lot of wiggle room with these things now. Turn off this capsule collider. Yeah, go. So this all looks good. I'm gonna save as. Boom. Then again, I just apply all. And so I have some animation on these fools. And I'll just lower these, like have them fit the terrain. The terrain. This one is floating up too. To me. Save it. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Super, let's go. As you can see, let's go find our friends. That's not good. I think it has to be doing with this like rigid body. Everybody's looking all crazy and stuff. Like that shouldn't be doing that. So what I'll do is I will just because Vanessa's not having any problems, and so I think it's just the rigid body. So let me go ahead and just turn off this rigid body thing. So just essentially just remove the component. So boom, 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 boom. the component for the rigid body. Remove. Yeah, we'll remove the component for the capsule or the box glider too. And I'll just override and just apply those. And so let's see here. I feel like I've been doing less of the world building and more on just the character situation. Okay, here we go. Let's go see our friends. Oh, what do you know? And so notice how I'm not able to like walk near them like that. See? It's because of that box collider. And so I could go through and I could just add a pill collider. I think that I got rid of the pill collider, but let's see if I could just add the pill collider back on. Capsule collider. And just have this capsule collider go on them. Yeah, so turn that off for all of them. Just go to remove component again. And then I'll just go through, boom. All these things have pill colliders. They're all pretty much the same size. So I could essentially update these. That they automatically just work together. Boom. So it goes around them like that. So that kind of works. Boom. And so I'll just again save, go through, override, apply that. So a lot of trial and error. I mean, it's just a open project essentially. So, but we got that. We got our characters, HDRP. Look at that texture. That texture looks real nice. I really like the texture on this hat. So I did. Washed out a little bit. Nice texture right there. I like it. And so here we go. Let's see what happens. We've been working on this for a little. Yeah. So, yeah. So we got our characters. We can't bump into them, but we could see them running around. Easy conversations and stuff. So it's like I'll catch them later. Let's go exploring. Boom. Easy conversations and stuff. So it's like I'll catch them later. Let's go exploring. Boom. To the water. We could stage up something like this. Oh yeah, look at that. Water. We could stage up something like this. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I got that. Everything looks nice, but I kind of wanna play with some of the lighting. Some of the lighting kind of sucks, and so let's say it is kind of foggy and stuff like that. So what I could do is I could go to Gaia Lighting. It says day, but I could change it to create a new profile. And so I create a new profile. It lets me create a new profile like that. So I could have procedural sky. So I want to have it to where you have the sun just sort of like in the backdrop here, right? So I could actually just move the sun over and move it down. So I could rotate it and move it down. So pitch, see where the sun is at right there, right? I could have the sun here, and I could have it coming off of the horizon like that. That looks really, really nice. Just over here, just staging the mess out of this. Looks nice. And so I'm going to actually take my camera and I'll have my camera sort of just back here. This, yeah. I'll move the sun over here. So I'll just put my camera right here. So I'll just go to game object and I select the main camera, go to game object, and I'll just say align with view. So the align with view aligns with the view that I have right there. So I have my camera, it's really easy to do that. And so then I'm going to go through and I'm just going to go back to my HDR lighting and I'm going to just move this over just a little bit, just a little bit like that. Then see how the pitch there, see how it's procedural. So it's like this is a go. Change the Kelvin, right? So I could have it be light. This time if I want it, but I could just sort of have it be. And then, so global settings, what do you want to do with that? So GPU, so that I have that, that works. Um, Selections, real time, on awake, refresh one. Hmm. Not too bad on any of that stuff. So these are all just like random settings that you have for stuff, right? So this is all the under Gaia's like lighting mode and then proceed. That's how you do it. You just have to create a new lighting profile. And so you get cool stuff that you could modify here, but I rather just use the physically based stuff. So physically based sky, boom, got that. Uh, as you can see, this is the normal one without any of like the environmental volumes. And then I could bump it up to where it looks like that. So this is without it. And this doesn't look too bad. I mean, like, this is really nice. Kind of ghosty, but I want to add that procedural sky. It makes it look even better. Then I could have like Earth, some Earth, custom planet. And so I could have like aerosol. That's just like atmosphere. Um, just uh, all this stuff that I could add to it. So it's really nice. I wanted to add more fog to it. So like right now, like it's very subtle, but I could add like fog to it and the attenuation distance. Right. So like this is just foggy right here, right? And so if I had it like that, boom, base side of the fog, boom, change it a little bit, fog distance, and so as you can see, this more foggy, less foggy. You could see off in the distance too, like the fog gets worse. Side, so the higher you could see off in the distance too, like the fog gets worse. Sky color, so the higher sky color. Go. So that we can actually just look over here. We could change the midtone. So boom. Just crazy how you could just sort of like modify this whole look just with these little things right here. Fog distance. Just crazy how you could just sort of like modify this whole. Do that. I'll just do that. So I don't to fog distance. I have that, and then I think that's pretty much it. That's all. That's all I need to do for that. Uh, do some. It doesn't support. Interesting, right? Oh, so it says that like it doesn't support it with this asset. So I could actually just save this, and if I wanted to swap out for like another HDRP asset, I could do that. So if I wanted to have like high quality, right? Oh, so I normally want to have high quality. Probably should check that before. But this render pipeline asset, and you'll notice that like it's going to change just because it like renders out a different way, different render settings for high quality and medium. So you may see some like more details and stuff like that, but it will be a lot more dense. Read that like red right there. I like the blue because it's still like compiling everything. Shader. Stuff. Read that like red right there. I like the blue because it's still like compiling everything. Shader. That is it right there. That is it right there. There we go. So let's go ahead and walk around our. Let's go ahead and walk around our. Shadows and everything. Pretty crazy. Go find my friends. Go find my friends. It's over here just talking mess. It's over here just talking mess. That's a nice shot right there. So I'll go through, just lower the sun, because that's what you could do with this. You could build a world and then just stage everything, which is really cool. Um, I'm not able to do that while I'm in runtime. That sucks. Uh, but I think I can do that. Yeah, I could do that with this, so I could just have that. Oh, but it doesn't do the reflections. Dang it. So do that again. Do is I want to find that spot again. Okay, where was that? Crap. Dang it. But I will just stage the main camera. So put the main camera here. Toggle with view. So align with view. Boom. And I'll just play this, see what happens. And let's see. Go through, maximize, go to the player, move player to camera. No, don't want to do that. Then I want to just bump this up a little bit higher. And then I'll go through player, move player to camera. There we go. Yep. So I got that. And so like the shot more better. Look at that. That looks really nice. Okay, so we'll just go with that. Go. I have a staged shot straight from the metaverse. So this turned out pretty good. So We'll see how it goes. And then I could just walk around it. Here it is. This is the spot. And then I could just walk around it. Here it is. This is the spot. That's what we got. So appreciate y'all chilling with your boy. And we're able to create a really quick 3D world that you can navigate. It's literally just stock. We spent more time with like the lighting and everything than anything to make it look nice. But this is what we got. This is what we got. So adios.